A bunch of explosion deaths towards the end, and then the very last kill, a barbecue exploded and killed the dude.
Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run it on house, or knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my intensity. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Lostlegendstv. We are Ready at MC, and I'm Ray.
And I'm James.
We are moving on in the horror bracket of October 2020.
And now we got Paranormal Activity taking on Final Destination.
Yep. I feel like this is going to be a good one.
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so.
The last one was a sweep.
So let's go ahead and get into it plot-wise. If we're talking about Final Destination, we've stated how we feel about the films. Like it's really good. You get the first one. It takes place on a plane, and like each one is just like we're just battling death.
And again, if you haven't seen the previous video, we vaguely discuss each plot story. So as this progresses, because we're gonna have to talk about some of these 2 or 3 times. Please watch that video before you watch this one. So anyway,
okay. So yeah, you got them on the plane. You got them on the on the highway. You got them at the amusement park. You got them at the racetrack. You got them on the bridge, and it's literally just a battle against death. No characters really repeat for real, besides maybe if you count the ending of 5 that leads into 1.
Final Destination, you have the same substance throughout each film. It's just different characters and different kills, different plots. Paranormal Activity is ones like The Omen, it's ones like Insidious. They share a common character throughout the whole franchise. Okay, this Paranormal Activity, if you haven't seen it for whatever reason, this Katie and Micah who move into this new house, and according to Katie, she's been haunted by this demon ever since she was a kid. She gets possessed. She kills Micah, and the second one, shit hits the fan, and the story grows. And by the time you get all the way to the last one, there's this big old cult of demons. The last film, me and you agreed we didn't like.
No.
Like whatsoever. Like even the critical response, I remember, was like low. It was the lowest. So you have basically, it's not like really an anthology. It's death throughout, different events.
It's literally everyone. The killer is death, and death never loses.
Yeah, versus a more simple, solidified character who, like, you have one that's a prequel who works onto a sequel, and it just builds upon itself. So if we had to pick which franchise had the freshest sequels, I guess we'll do it on 3.
1, 2, 3. Final Destination.
We agreed on it.
And it's not that Paranormal Activity is bad, but overall, like I said, I feel like the 4th Final Destination is the only one I'm not like. I wouldn't be enthused to watch as much. You know what I mean? Like, if 5 is okay, but at least it ties back into the first one, which kind of like helps it out for me. And like the Paranormal Activity movies are good until you get to 6. 6 is not good.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary. It was bad CGI. It was just, I don't think we needed that one.
Well, think about it though. How many franchises can you take one story, repeat that story each time, and still be a good movie? That's what Final Destination does.
That's true.
I mean, you can't do that a whole lot.
You really can't.
But they base their whole substance on that. So, first point, Final Destination takes it.
Number 2 is box office.
Who had the better numbers? So, talking about Paranormal Activity box office, the best one in the franchise, which comes as a surprise, was actually Paranormal Activity 3 with $207 million. It's normally the original who makes bank. Okay, the worst one was our least favorite, Part 6, The Ghost Dimension.
And when you say like normally the first one makes bank, I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like a lot of times when the first one's really good, people will pay to watch the next ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what happened.
That or the fucking remakes make bank off of it.
That's true.
So the worst one was, again, Part 6, and it came in at $78.9 million.
Which still isn't bad, honestly.
Which doesn't touch what the best one made. I mean, that's over double.
Yeah, it is.
The total gross of Paranormal Activity is $800 $60,290,000.
That's crazy.
That is a lot of money, my friends.
I feel like it's the top. I think it was top 5, like the highest gross. Then we get to the Final Destination films, and the highest grossing one was the 4th one, actually, which was kind of weird, and the lowest grossing one was the 2nd one. The 4th one made $186 million, and the 2nd one made $90 million. A little bit of a difference there, but all of them made around in the 100,000 area, at least the 100,000 area. When you get to total gross, the total gross for the Final Destination film is only $512 million, which is kind of hard to touch that $800 million for Paranormal Activity. So Paranormal Activity takes it. That makes it 1-1.
1-1, my friends.
Now we have to go on to critical response.
To mention this again from the previous video, if you take away just the total gross before you take away the budgets, it's $666 million,
which is amazing.
That's just fucking dope.
At this point, I don't want them to make.
Well, not devil worshippers, but
it's just kind of cool.
It's just a cool coincidence. Okay, so I'm glad right now this isn't going to be a sweep.
Already decided. Yeah.
Yeah. So the third thing we talk about is critical and fan response. This is one of the ones that the original had the best response. Critics rate this at a 7.01 out of 10.
Which is really good.
Which is really good compared to like some of our favorites, which ranked low. The lowest one, again, is The Ghost Dimension, Part 6, coming in at 3.63 out of 10, which is terrible.
Awful. It's not the worst we've seen, because I've seen way worse.
But consider this will hurt this franchise.
Yep.
You can have, like, a solid franchise. If you make one shit movie, it's going to bring that average down. And you can lose this bracket over it.
True.
Total average is 5.27 out of 10. Just above average.
I mean, yeah, like you said, that one brings it down because all the other ones right around 5 or higher. So they could have like possibly moved up closer to a 6.
Yeah.
Then we get Final Destination, and you got the highest rated one, which is actually it's the 5th one. The 5th one is the highest rated. I keep doing that because 2 and 3 are just tied. I don't know how that worked. They're both 5 out of 10. But number 5 is 5.9 out of 10. It's almost a 6. The lowest rated one was the 4th one, which was the race car one, which I feel that, and it was a 4.23 out of 10. And then if you average it all out, it gets a 4.97 out of 10.
Which takes a loss.
Just like 0.3. It lost by, that's the closest one we've had.
Yeah.
By 0.3. But we still have audience scores.
Yep. So the audience scores for Paranormal Activity, the highest one is the first one at a whopping 83%, which is really fucking impressive. The worst one, you guessed it, is Part 6, The Ghost Dimension, at a fucking terrible 14%, man.
Still not the lowest, which is insane. But once you see some of these other ones, you'll know.
He's almost slashers.
There's a couple of slashers that's like,
Man.
But overall.
So it takes an average of 47.67%.
That 14 really drops it. Like,
again, it fucking hurt the franchise, man.
But did it hurt it enough to end it to where to not win this round? Well, technically it'd be a tie. Then you get Final Destination. You got the highest one again as 5, which was 63%, which is pretty good. The lowest one, 29%, and that's the 4th one. It's about the same. And if you average it all together, you get 43.6%, which is still a loss by 4%. That's crazy. So that means Paranormal Activity is up 2-1.
Well, I mean, not yet, but like...
No, to be honest, no. Paranormal Activity snuck away.
They did.
They snuck away. Because
barely took it.
Because Final Destination had solid average movies besides like the 4th one. We move on to category 4, which is kills.
Now we get into our territory, which is... This is probably my favorite thing to do. For real. Which Paranormal Activity in itself doesn't have a whole lot of kills, honestly. Final Destination has a lot of fucking kills.
But we gotta have to compare it.
So Paranormal Activity, we're going to compare kills of the franchise. The first Paranormal Activity, you have just one kill, which is Michael's death, when he's thrown against the camera.
Yep.
Which is the theatrical version. There's like two different alternate endings. But they're pretty much the same. So, Paranormal Activity, my favorite kill, which there's only 2 that we noted, was when Katie snaps Daniel's neck. And the other one, she throws this bitch up against the wall. And that's it. She dies. Paranormal Activity 3, this girl named Lois kills this guy named Dennis, in which he was bent over backwards, like folded backwards, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity 4, my favorite kill was Ben's neck snapped, which was the he was standing by his computer. I don't know how the fuck he didn't see that bitch.
No.
Just Paranormal Activity 5, when Oscar commits suicide from that, he leaps from that fucking building.
Yeah, which
he lands on that car.
I fucking hated that.
Yeah, because we didn't think it was logical to do that.
It's not. It's 100% not logical. It couldn't happen. And if we just like were to pick like our favorites from the whole franchise and everything, and like our worst ones, my favorite is probably gonna be from the third one where Lois bends Dennis, because that was just a really cool kill, the way she breaks his back and shit. And then the least one is probably the vomit blood one. And if we get to Final Destination, like I said, there's so many kills, we're not gonna be able to talk through all of these. So basically, I'm gonna just give you like my favorites and my least favorites from the film. I were to pick a favorite kill from the entire Final Destination franchise, it's really, really hard.
Because I picked 2 myself.
I'm going to pick 2 myself as well. I am going with, from 3, the motor from the truck that cuts that man's head open, because that's so fucking gruesome. Even in the situation like how he does it, like not wanting to die that way, even though it might be quick, I feel like just the terror alone would fuck with me. And then, of course, the girl that gets the computer glass in her throat, that whole drawn-out scene, I really love that.
That's just insult to Andrew.
It really is.
It's like, in that kill, Death took the extra time. Like, Death had a personal vendetta against that bitch for some fucking reason. So, if I had to pick one from the Final Destination, I'm going to go ahead and say, after looking at all these kills, I'm going to have to go with the computer girl from the first one. Again, to have a computer explode, its glass shards enter you, your chest and your neck. You stumble upon, into the kitchen. Fucking kitchen's on fire. You trip, and then a fucking knife enters you. I mean, like, it's not just a kill. I mean, that's a series of fucking unfortunate events. So if I had to pick one, I'm going that one, definitely, from the very first one.
And that's the thing. Like, sometimes overkill is good, and sometimes overkill is bad.
They did that one well.
That one was well. So, like, and if we were to talk about my least favorite, it's hard to do it because it's probably going to be one of the explosion kills.
Which was a lot.
There's so, like, 4 and 2 had the most explosion kills. Like, in fact, in 2, there was a bunch of explosion deaths towards the end, and in the very last kill, a barbecue exploded and killed the dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then in 4... there's like an exploding truck, and then there's like there's an explosion that causes like random debris that gets stuck in someone's heart. There's just more explosions, and it's just like so many fucking explosions. It's so lazy. So if we were to pick the winner for the kills, let's do this on 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Final Destination. Even with all the shitty explosion kills, there are just way too many good creative kills in this, whereas Paranormal Activity basically has almost nothing comparative.
So that means, guys, we're at 2-2.
It means we get to come down to the final one.
The tiebreaker.
This is only the second time this has happened.
My second favorite category is Fearfulness. Which one would be worse if you was in the situation?
All right, so if we put ourselves in... if we put ourselves in Paranormal Activity, are we putting ourselves in a situation of Micah or Katie or what?
Both of them, in a sense, are dealing with like a demonic entity. And throughout the franchise, because I like to consider throughout the franchise too, is something that grows.
Yeah.
So it's like an expanding fucking fear that's going to be hard to be away from. And 2, the fucking demon followed her ever since she was a child.
True.
Versus cheating death, which you can't cheat death. At the end, you're going to die. But just theoretically, if you was to cheat death, it was your time, and death's trying to get you now, that's a force to be reckoned with, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. Like if we put ourselves in Paranormal Activity, I guess we would put ourselves in the shoes of Katie, at least in the first one.
Yeah.
Because, like, her being followed and, like, it's there the whole time in the house.
Then she got bit and possessed.
Yeah.
Killed your fucking old man.
And then Final Destination, like, if we put ourselves in the shoes of the guy or the girl in any case where, like, they had the premonition, I would be losing my shit because, like, I saw him die. If I tell him, he's not gonna believe me. Like, how many times, like legit, if I came into you one day, like, hey, bro, I had a premonition, you died in a car crash on the way to work.
I'd be like, that sucks, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he's not gonna believe me. Oh, that's just a dream. Like, and then he'd get in the fucking car and then follow the same route. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking die.
That would terrify me in that situation, seeing all those deaths.
And then having to fucking try to escape death in different ways, like.
But I feel like I would also be scared being followed by a demon
that you can't see
all my life. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just basically just a ghost demon. Like, I can't do shit about it.
Both of these entities you cannot see. This is an enemy you can't see. It's just you have to pick the lesser evil. Which one would you not want to deal with more?
Yeah, it's true. So let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Final Destination. Yep. There's no way you can beat death.
No, you can't.
I feel like in the very least you could at least try to get away from the paranormal demon easier.
Because
there's nothing you could do about death.
Death, I mean, like, and they make it very clear in the Final Destination series, like, it doesn't matter what room you're in, if you're outside, there's always something that can kill you. Mm-hmm. There's always something that can kill you that's next to you. And that's just more terrifying to me. Mm-hmm. Like, a demon's bad, but, I mean, if I have to worry about every fucking room I walk in, thing I'm trying to do, Final Destination.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that means Final Destination takes it, and it will move on to face Insidious.
That's the championship round?
That's the championship round for Supernatural.
All right, so we have a championship round.
Yep. To come out of the Supernatural bracket, one of these two will go on to face, be in the final 4 of the entire bracket, which is insane.
So let us know who you have so far.
And
you think Insidious will take it, or do you think Final Destination?
I feel like a lot of people's brackets are fucked. If they actually did them. I feel like us saying that to y'all to do it, like some of y'all might have been like, oh, that's cool. But I feel like a lot of y'all just like, nah, I'm just going to watch the content. Yeah. So that's whatever. If like I said, if you want the mess, cool. That's how we're doing it. Yep. But if you don't, But like I said, so Final Destination Insidious is going to be the championship round for this one. Once we finish that, we're going to move on to the next bracket, and we're going to go from there and just try to get until we get to the point where we have just 4 final ones, and we'll end up having like the slashers take on the monster combo, and then the combo and Supernatural are going to get each other until there's a final winner.
I tell you, I think the hardest ones for us are going to be picked. If it's not a sweep, it's going to be slashers and the combos.
He's just cocky because he's a Halloween person and Friday fan.
Well, the thing is, like, I grew up a Jason fan. Yeah. Like, totally, 100%. I thought Michael was a bitch. Somewhere along the line, I grew to like Michael more. Again, in the fight, Jason whooped that ass.
Yeah.
Straight up. Straight fucking.
So, like I said, we got Final Destination and Insidious coming up in the championship round for Supernatural bracket. Let us know what you got. Do you think we're wrong? Do you think Paranormal Activity should have won it?
Tell us why.
Tell us why. But until next time, y'all, deuces. Adios.
On the couch like damn, what a slam. Bring us back to your garage, just my crew just might roll on you like